Well, hello, you guys, and welcome to Dog Hugs. How are y'all doing? Great to see you.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Take it away, Geraldine.
So, I am so excited about how our pool just opened this weekend. I'm not certain if you guys, I know you're in way different territories than I am. However, I actually got into the pool in my bikini and I went, oops, I think I've had a few too many treats this COVID season. How about y'all? How y'all feeling in your bikini bodies right now?
Well, we've not gone to the public pool yet.
So
yeah, or the beach here.
So you're not feeling the COVID like I am, right? Not yet.
I've heard it called the COVID plus 15.
And there's I don't know how many pools are open around here yet, because it has really not been that warm.
Yeah, you guys have not been unlucky. We actually have had some really nice days. So lucky enough to be able to enjoy the pool, but understanding that maybe I ate a few too many treats this year so far.
I hear that.
We should be talking healthy treats.
Right. So we have a really fun show today discussing how, I don't always pay attention. Like, I don't document every calorie I'm eating every day. However, I do encourage my clients to document how many calories their pets are eating every day. So maybe I should start, and I usually do practice what I preach, but I think today I'm going to really start after the bikini experience this weekend. I'm definitely going to practice what I preach.
Very good. Well, you see that tail wagging in the background, and Spider, why don't you come up and say hello? Come on, buddy. Yeah, good boy.
Oh, yeah. Spider.
So, there he is. Now we're gonna do a little dog hug now. Come on, Spider. Come on up and say hello to the folks. That a boy, big guy. So as you may know, we've been working with Spider to get him to be more polite on the show and have his busy box. Oh, I just spilled some treats on the floor. Boy, oh boy, free.
So now we know he's going to be quiet for a while. FYI, we're going to train him to eat the treats on the floor. Just kidding.
So you know this toy, the Kong Wubba, and it's got a squeaky ball in it. In it. Well, Spider extracted the squeaky ball, and it don't squeak no more. So I put a few treats inside of the ripped open Wubba, and now I'm going to get Spider started on the floor when he is ready for his next. Instead of a busy box, we'll see if we can get him going on the Wubba. Yeah.
He'll probably chew a hole through it like my dogs do when I accidentally leave treats in the pockets of my clothing.
Yeah. I know
even though there's an opening for them to stick their nose in and actually eat the treats,
he'll drill another hole. Okay, great.
He probably will.
So I would love to share with the folks, Geraldine, you helped guide Spider on some feeding exercises. So we created these puzzles for Spider. You see here the studio set up, and watch as and Geraldine, feel free to talk over this, but we got going day by day with more and more complex puzzles.
So this is an amazing demonstration of how we have really shaken up Spider's morning. We have made it a job for him to locate, find, pull out, dig for his food every morning. It's a great way to mentally engage him as part of the discovery process, because as an animal, we all go after our food. We all hunt and gather, depending on if you're the hunter and gatherer or how, whatever your dynamic is in your household, you are going out, even if it's to the drive-through right now, and bringing home some food. So you have worked for that meal, even if it's cooking and, buying the groceries and actually preparing. It's a lot of work. Yeah, so this is a great way to slow him down and have him have to think about what he's going to do and how he's going to master his meal.
Yeah, day by day, I made the puzzles more difficult. As you can see, there's a sandbag on top of that top climb, because otherwise, what he would do, you just flip over the climb.
He's the smartest, one of the smartest dogs in this book I have back here of the 400 breeds in the world. He is one of the smartest breeds. He's most tenacious. He has what I'll call his level of resiliency, or his level of like, he's gotten his endurance level up so high that he takes an extra step every time. And there are many dogs out there like that their owners are struggling with. Many of them end up in rescues. There are many healer rescues out there that only focus on healers because of this.
That's true.
So for Larry to take the time to be able to figure this out and actually start working so diligently to gain these successes you're seeing in the film today, where he's having to work so hard every day for his breakfast, it's one step in a multitude of steps of a healthier, happier spider.
Yeah.
He's so smart.
Yeah.
That tail is just wagging every time. It's like he loves the puzzle.
That's such a great observation, Robbie, mostly because you're seeing the joy he's finding in this exercise every day, which brings him that confidence level, which we as humans need. That's an experience we want to have as well. We're looking for success in our careers, finding our food, going out and doing the things we need to do in the world that help us feel accomplished and confident. So for a pet, eating is one of those. So kudos to Spider.
Yeah, so
cool.
Bravo. Yeah, he's getting away. So he is working on his little wubba right now. And I think he'll be back here in any moment, ready for the next house. Good boy, Spider. You ready for the next?
Of course he is.
So, all month long, we've got a very special holiday. And Robbie, tell us about what's going on this month in June.
It is Adopt a Shelter Cat Month.
Yay.
So, we're blogging about it, putting stuff on Facebook. I'm doing a Crimeless Cat Facebook Live every Wednesday, and we're talking about Adopt a Shelter Cat. So we would love people to send in photos of their cats, tell us why they love their shelter cat. And also, we always want to make it clear that even if you can't adopt a cat for whatever reason, you could go down to the shelter, play with the cats. You could scoop a litter box, or give a donation of food or toys, just something to appreciate and take care of a shelter cat, even if you can't bring one home. And this is something you can do year round. So I just love the idea of the volunteers that go down and play with the kitties that need it.
Excellent. We've got a great question here from Joanne. Does this increase him getting into other things, looking for food?
He's so darn tired. He's so darn tired by the time he's done with some of these when it comes to food. He's actually looking for his dad to help him, instruct him on where the next puzzle is. So that's a really great question, Joanne. But it does not make him hungrier. It actually wears his little tail out a certain percentage with every new step.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a great question, though. No, it's a great question.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah. But no, he's not going to go into your cabinets and start digging through your things or help himself to the fridge anytime soon.
Yes.
So no.
Yeah, I haven't found that yet. But he is, little by little, I can sense the micro behavior improvements.
Oh, wow.
I think Geraldine, you mentioned we wanted to break down his willfulness so we can build him back up. Yeah. So it takes
time. We cannot do it overnight. And one of the reasons why we use the food puzzles is to help mentally wear him out, so he is challenged to find his food like he would have been in the wild, part of his instinctual behavior, but also because he's so mentally strong. He is a mental giant. So being able to chip away at some of that mental strength every day, so that we start wearing him out a little bit, so he will feel like he's done his job, his confidence level's raised, he's nourished, he's been protected, and he can go take a big old nap. That's where we want to get. That's our goal. But it takes time.
I felt a big breath come into me in like hopefulness. I'll get some time if Spider gets a nap. Wow. Yeah.
First time I saw my border collie take a nap and actually drool during that nap, I went,
oh my gosh.
score! That was a big score in my life.
Well, speaking of food, why don't we get help introduce our guest?
So once again, we have such amazing guests on this show. And one of the most important aspects about today's guest is not only is she, to me, the queen of all things cat and dog, and she sits up there next to Queen Elizabeth and beyond, but she literally has her finger on the pulse of pet food today. You have read many things she has written without even realizing it many times. And also, we love her, not only her ability to write about it, but her ability to apply it, which is what we're going to discuss today. So welcome to our Dog Hugs show, Mrs. Sandy Robbins.
Bravo.
The mother.
Good morning. Dog hugs and cat hugs to you all.
Hello.
Right back at you.
Friend.
How are you, darling Sandy?
Very well, thank you. I'm very well. I mean, you know, it's lovely to work at home because your cats and dogs are with you all the time. It doesn't get better, does it? Let's be honest.
It doesn't.
I don't think it gets better, right, Robbie?
I don't think it does, no.
Right. We're very lucky. Well, so we were joking earlier about our bikini bodies, but what we really like to hear about is Ziggy's bikini body, because the pet lifestyle expert that you are, understanding what it means to keep a pet's bikini body, we'd love to hear what you have to say about Ziggy's latest accomplishment.
Well, Ziggy, unfortunately, he's not being cooperative. He's sleeping right now. He's napping. I guess if I say something, no, not even shaking something's going to get him out of the snap right now. He's in dreamland. But I'm very, very excited because Ziggy has just met his goal weight of 13 pounds. He was 15 and a half pounds, and I dieted him down very slowly over 18 months to his goal weight, which he's just achieved. And he was 15 and a half pounds because I put him there by adding extra love into his food bowl. I felt really, really guilty because I didn't realize what I was doing until it was pointed out to me. I want to share with you this morning what I call my kitchen quiz, which actually applies to people and it applies to pets because we're so much in our kitchens right now. We're looking for snacks and looking for the next meal, and if it's a spaghetti bolognese, it's an extra little dollop of spaghetti and an extra little dollop of sauce, and at the end of the day, it all adds up. So I've devised my kitchen quiz for dogs and cats, and it's very, very simple. When you're about to feed your dog or your cat, it doesn't matter, what kind of cup are you using to measure? Not all cups are equal, as you can very well see. And the other thing is, when you're filling that cup, are you over keeping it? Rather like that. Because if you're not using a standard measuring cup, this happens to be a standard measuring cup, but if you're not using a standard measuring cup and you're keeping it, you're overfeeding. So I did a little experiment for you. I took this cup, this very cup that I've been using here, heaped like this, and I scraped off all the excess to make it absolutely flat. And I based it on feeding a dog 2 cups of kibble a day. And I did the experiment over 2 days. And this is how much extra food the dog would get in 2 days. It is the equivalent of a cup and a third of kibble. Now, if you're doing that permanently, it's so easy to see how you're overfeeding.
That's how I got it out of my bikini body, by adding that extra dollop of anything, actually. So I completely understand how it happens.
Oh, so the point is this: the moment you stop doing those 2 simple things, you use a standard measuring cup, and it can be anything. And Jonan, you discussed with me, even if you take a solo cup and you mark it, I think you've got one there.
I do.
You can mark your pets. You know, that's great.
So I use these red Solo cups. They're an instant solution where you actually weigh your food and then put it in the cup and mark exactly where that line is, and then put your pet's name at the end. So here's Casey and here's Senna's amount that they get every meal, because they have different activity levels, they're different sizes, and I actually mark a cup and a half a cup, so I know exactly how much they get in each meal. So this helps a lot, and it's a really great solution to help control ourselves. But once again, don't heap it like Sandy is suggesting.
And what I do,
and don't add people food on top of it right at this moment. That's a different discussion. Yes.
So how I got to that point was I spoke to an animal nutritionist, and the whole idea is initially to weigh the correct amount. And once you've got the correct amount, then you can mark that cup accordingly. But the thing is this, that you know, if you're feeding diet A and you're feeding 2 cups a day, if you suddenly switch to diet B, you've got to go back and measure it out again, because kibble is different shapes, different sizes, different densities. So you may be feeding a cup a day of a meal in one recipe, but in fact you should be feeding 3/4 of a cup instead, because that food is different, or a cup and a third.
Right.
Depending. So the point is, the moment you change a recipe, go back to your digital scale and weigh it out. And once you've weighed it out exactly, you can then mark your cup. But if you're working in a standard measuring cup and you're not doing this, and of course now I'm dropping stuff, so somebody's going to have a party with this stuff. And the other thing is, I feed a combo diet of wet and dry, and it's kind of difficult to be able to, you know, subtract the one and do the other, especially if you're bad at math like I am. I'm hopeless if I'm not using my fingers, and you can't do that kind of calculation with fingers. So go to your website, the food website that you're serving, and have a look. Very often they have a food calculator there, and they will help you.
I am really challenged by that as well, because I'm feeding sometimes wet and sometimes dry. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes, a lot of them. I know Merrick does. I know WellPet do. That's why they have consumer hotlines. They're there to guide you with their recipes and to help you get the exact amounts that you need, so you're not overfeeding. Because that extra teaspoon of food is going to do the same damage as what you're doing in terms of heaping the food. This is a lot of extra food to give a pet in 2 days. It's a lot.
And think of the equivalent in weight, like you said earlier, Sandy, about the equivalent in 1 pound on a human is equal to, 7 pounds on a human is equal to 1 pound on a cat or a dog.
Correct.
So if you think of when you gain 10 pounds and you go get out of bed and you go, and you squeak and you creak and you go, ooh, something's wrong. I have this pressure because it's gravity pulling down on you harder.
Exactly.
Think of that on a pet.
Well, this is the thing. They say that 2 extra pounds makes a cat in that overweight category, and 5 extra pounds puts your dog in that overweight category. And it's a very, very simple fix by starting in your kitchen and just feeding the correct amounts. And of course, if you're a trainer, you understand how important treats are. So 10% of your dog's daily calorie allowance needs to be in treats, and the treats are not an add-on. They have to be subtracted from what you're
correct.
And once you've got that little bit of math down pat, you're good to go. It's not something you have to do every day. You just need to get it right the first time, and thereafter you just use that measure that you've now set up for your dog and cat. And I think the important thing is, it's a really slow process. There's no such thing as crash dieting a pet. That's, and it should be done with veterinary assistance. You need to speak.
Definitely.
And if your pet is really, really super great, that's when you need to go to a prescription diet. And that's where you need, once again, to speak to your veterinarian. But I dieted Ziggy down on, when I say normal food, over-the-counter food. I didn't diet him.
Uh-oh. So we've lost her for a moment, but she'll be right back, because we've all had a little connection issue lately. So she'll be right back. But she did go slow. There you go.
Come closer.
Perfect. So Sandy did take her time.
No, it's very doable.
It's very doable, but you do have to take your time, because if you don't take your time, the issue becomes you are going to toxify your pet with too many things being released from their system at once, and sometimes those crystallize, and some of those can actually make little jagged rocks that are in their, think about in their urinary tract, or there's many issues that can happen if you do not do this slowly and keep them hydrated. So do heed Sandy's lead there, which is to detox slowly, to help your pets lose weight slowly. If you do too fast of a change as well, like if you go cold turkey and just take everything away, then your pets can have an ability to bite. They'll start getting hungry, and they'll get a little snarky. And you know, when we all get a little, our blood sugar level drops, or we've changed our diet, we can wake up and be like, ah, and our family and friends are like, what's wrong with you? So don't set your pet up for that situation. One of the tricks I use is I take the treats I'm going to use and I mix it with their food overnight. So the next day, the food absorbs some of the treat smell. So their kibble then becomes more aromatically compatible and to a higher value treat. And they really have no idea that I'm actually feeding them kibble instead of a treat. So that's one great diet tip that you can utilize right now in your training routine. There are many others, but that's a great one to start with. So
I really appreciate that, because imperceptibly, Spider's weight has increased from his fighting weight is 38 pounds, and he's up to like over 39 and a half, up to 40. And it has crept in, Sandy. Like a teaspoon a day. Teaspoon by
It's so
day.
easy to do. You know, we realize it. It's like putting that extra dollop of bolognese sauce on your spaghetti. It's the same thing. And it's so easy to fix. You can fix it in your kitchen. And you can start fixing it straight away. You don't need any tools. You don't need anything. Just have that aha moment. Admit that you are responsible. And what I did with Ziggy.
Right. And it's the awareness of it. And also, it's okay. Once you've done it, forgive yourself and move into a place of feeding them properly. If that means keeping a little journal or recording what you're doing or something to keep track, especially if you have a dual, many people in your household, because my pets can get fed twice one night by accident if I'm not keeping some kind of a log or communicating properly with the other people that are in my house. That's a huge one. But also no people food. Like for right now, just maybe make a pact in your household, if you have an overweight pet, that you will only have one type of treat you utilize, and that might be only carrots or only celery or only broccoli or whatever your pet is allowed to have that as a people equivalent, and step back from the rest until your pets get a chance to detox, and maybe they're allergic to something, so you might be really harming them with the treats you're giving them from your refrigerator. I call it loving them to death.
It's true. Yeah.
Because you are. And they will chew up your wallet, and you will never be able to fix what you've done, and the pain that you suffer from that is not worth it. So the best thing to do is to find the awareness, have someone smack the awareness into you if they need to, whether that be a professional, your veterinarian, your friend, us, whoever, someone that helps you come to the realization that maybe some of the choices you're making are not so great, and we will hold you up later when your pet passes away, but we don't want to do it right. We will hold you up now to have your pet live as long as possible.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm hoping people will have that aha moment right now in their kitchens along with us, because it's such an easy thing to do, to grab the wrong cup. It's a quick fix. It's a very easy fix. And, that's how you're showing love, by feeding them properly. And, we won't go into all the problems that extra food can give, but as you mentioned earlier,
measure that cup. Make sure you have something that's measured out, that's the reliable one every day. You can rely on it, so you aren't having to guess, and that way you hold yourself accountable for what's happening. That's really the most important part. All right, Sandy's back.
Things like this, that have got the different measures on the inside or on the outside, so you can see exactly what you need for. In terms, and as we said, once you've got it all measured out, you're good to go. And if you are down, it's little by little by little. It's really slow. But Ziggy's got bikini weight now, and you know what? He's flying around the house more than ever before. He and my other cat, they have these games, and they fly around the house. It sounds like a herd of elephants, and it's the two of them playing.
So sweet, and that's a huge sign. If your pets aren't playing at all, especially if they're overweight, then they're not going to play because it hurts. It's hard. They wear out faster. They have to oxygenate a larger mass. That is not fun. It's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, all the things that happen to humans happen to pets. I think we need to remember that. So if your genes are feeling a bit tight, they're feeling a bit tight in their skin. You're not doing them anything.
Absolutely. Well, and also, Sandy, we'll have you back soon because we're going to discuss further into this subject, like kilocalories. Calories are not the same for pets as they are for people. And also metabolism. Pets metabolize things differently. I once had a customer call me crying because she said, "You have to come over right now because my dog just got into my medication." And I went, "What?" And when I got there, he had eaten a whole bottle of medication that would kill a human, but his body metabolized it different. So helping people understand their metabolism actually helps them understand how to feed them differently. So there are many questions that people have.
Yeah.
Many. So we will look forward to having you on again to discuss further into this. Yeah. So, shelter shout out. Let's chat about who you would love to get a shout out today. Give a shout out today. Special.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to the San Diego Humane Society, in particular their kitten nursery. They have a special kitten nursery set up with pediatric care for these newborns 24/7. Over the years that they've been operating, they've saved more than 12,000 cats. And I have a cat from that kitten nursery. Her name is Tori, and yeah, they do wonderful work. They've set the standard, and many others are following. And my shout out is to them.
And they're so amazing. I have worked with so many companies, different animal companies and animal rescues out of San Diego, and they're so wonderful. So thank you for giving them a shout out. And then Sandy, we're all about gratitude at Dog Hugs. We believe that pets teach us so much about living in the now and being grateful for everything that we have at every given moment. So who would you love to extend some special gratitude to today?
I'm having a lot of fun on my Facebook feed watching a friend of mine and former president of the Cat Writers Association, Marcy Kladnick. She has been taking in pregnant cats with their kittens, and she's fostering them and raising them till they're old enough to go back to the shelter to find forever homes. And this is something she does year round. So my shout out is to Marcy, because I know what's involved. And it's to Marcy and all the other Marcys out there who are doing the exact same thing.
That's so wonderful. And yes, there are a lot of Marcys, and we thank every single one of them for all the time, effort, energy, finances, emotions, everything it takes, and the dedication to help bring those kitties to a place where they can be healthy, happy, and adopted, and bring so much life, love, and therapy to so many people. So thanks them.
For dogs too, and all those people who are fostering dogs. If you're a foster mom, I love you.
Yes, or dad, foster mom or dad.
Or dad, correct.
Yes, we love you. We think it's wonderful, and there are so many that need help at all times. Also, I know that probably my biggest shelter shout out is going to be to Pet Orphans this week. I know Larry always shouts out to them, but they have done such an amazing job. I've gotten a chance to read quite a bit of what they've done, and wish I could have worked with them more when I was in Los Angeles. And I'll get a chance to work with them now more through Larry, and I'm so grateful for that. Every dog deserves its day, like every dog does, and every cat. So I'm so grateful for Pet Orphans for all that they have done in an area where it's really easy for a pet to get away and maybe not have a chance at all. So for them to snatch them up and bring them into such an amazing life, I'm really grateful for them. You're muted, Larry. You can unmute yourself now.
I can. Yeah, Spider's not barking. He's doing really well with his busy towels here.
Good. Yeah. He'll get better and better.
Yeah.
It takes time. Everyone learning, being patient is a really great attribute.
Thanks so much for being with us today, Sandy. I've really learned a lot. I'm so inspired by you always. And today is a special day in that.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank you, Sandy.
Oh, how wonderful.
I hope that helps people understand some of the aspects that surround a pet gaining weight. I have times when I've walked in and my customer has said, "Oh no, my pet's just a little plump." And I'm like, "No, not really, not so much." And then I dig a little deeper and I find out that someone that works at the house loves the pet so much they're kind of, giving it a little treat on the side. And that works for a little while, but then it starts going downhill quickly, right?
Yes.
And also it changes their behavior. And that's where I step in and go, "Nuh-uh."
Well, thank you for also for talking about in our shelter shout out pet orphans. And Robbie, anybody else that you'd love to give a shout out to today?
I'm sticking with Alley Cat Rescue out in Alexandria Bay.
Good
Since
choice.
it's Dr. Shelter Cat Month, and they do a lot of fostering everybody in their own homes because they don't have a facility. So sticking with them this month, I think.
I love that. And once again, one of the magic things about Alley Cat Rescue up in New York, Alexandria Bay, is that it's all foster based, meaning they don't have a facility, but it's about creating community, building community. Love that.
Well, it's a really great way to help a foster cat transition to its new home after it's been in a home, as opposed to, not that shelters are, not comfortable places, but is there anything, can you mimic a home? You can't really mimic that energy and that feeling. And so it's a beautiful way to foster, for a rescue to coexist with the foster home, with the rescue.
Beautiful. Well, my gratitude today. Oh, you know what? Before we get to that, let's get Spider going here. We've got some wonderful comments from the folks. Come on, buddy. Go bring that towel over here, and we'll get you the next one. Come on. Up. Thank you. Go get the other one. So we've got, oh, wow, look at this. Daniel Scott. Great to see you again. On Saturday, and his name is Burgess.
Great name.
It is a good name. Hey, Daniel, where did you adopt your puppy from? Let us know. We'd love to give him a shout.
And what type of a puppy is it? We definitely want to know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, if that's the dog in the photo there.
Well, that looks like an older husky.
I asked him to share a photo, so hopefully he will.
I think that's the one that Daniel's had before.
Oh, is it? Okay.
As I'm remembering. Yeah.
I think it looks older.
Yeah. Oh, and Geraldine, you have a fan. Love the big black glass frames. We're talking about you. Where'd you get them from?
Do I advertise Amazon.com right now? Because we are literally reading glasses from Amazon. I have read so much over my career. I am blind as a bat. So these definitely help me be able to see clearly. So Nancy, Amazon.com.
And Tim says, thanks, love it, sweet, nice picture. I can't remember when that exactly came on, but you're welcome, Tim. And well, hello, Bailey Blackstone. Great to see you again. And Thomas Rajib, great to see you. And my neighbor Nora. Spider is so quiet. Hey, Nora,
nice.
Can you hear him across the street when he barks?
She is a true testament that he's being a little more quiet, though.
Great to see you guys. Well, my gratitude today goes to somebody who also appears in the audience for the show, Tina Lurie. She and I went to graduate school together for television and film and radio, and all that kind of media. And over the weekend, she organized a reunion of folks, and this is from, I'll just say, a long time ago. And we've really stuck together as a class, and 25 of us got together online to hold a Zoom, and we hadn't seen many of these folks in many, 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 many years. So big gratitude to Tina Lurie for getting us together. Next time we see her pop up in the comments, I want to give you, Tina, a special shout out.
Wonderful. I'm so glad she joined us.
Yeah. Anybody on your heart, on your mind today, folks?
Robbie?
I'm going to have to ponder for a minute today.
I know you always have gratitude with you, so it's just a question of sifting through.
I know. It's like, who today? Geraldine, you can go.
So it's always so challenging to dig through all of the people and choose one, because they're all so equally important. But there is one special customer I have in Las Vegas who I think is fantastic, and one special trainer that I trained to become a dog trainer about 12 years ago who I think is fantastic. And they just celebrated the service, this last service dog we trained for her. Her name is Shelly McCann, and the trainer's name is Lindsay Bowen. And so because I was moving away from Las Vegas and Shell needed a new service dog, we were able to team up, the three of us, even though we were long distance from each other at the time. I was in Kansas City and the other two were on the West Coast, to locate a dog, move the dog to the trainer's house, train the dog. She has MS, and she has been such a trooper, and the dog is placed with her now for a year. She has done an amazing job, and it was just Tegan's birthday. So I have gratitude for these two ladies and this dog to come together in such a spectacular, almost just a perfect fashion. And I can't begin to even share how much my heart just beats, and I feel so good over this whole scenario. So thank you, Shell, and thank you, Lindsay, and thank you, Tegan. You guys are incredible, and you are a true heroic story. We'll tell your story again. We'll tell your story soon. In fact, I plan on having both of them on the show.
Oh, beautiful.
So I have so much gratitude for them. Take it away, Robbie.
My gratitude goes out to my friend Lisa. We actually went to high school together. We hadn't seen each other for probably 20 years. We reconnected. She lives out in Alabama, and she was recently called upon by a friend of hers who runs a veterinarian clinic. So Lisa has been going in and helping at their front desk, helping bring the dogs to to and from the offices, from the customers' cars. And she's been kind of jumping in and helping with that. And she also adopted one of the cats that was brought in.
Aww.
I think somebody found it and brought it in. They weren't going to keep it. So she ended up taking the cat and taking it home. And she told me when she started at the vet, she's like, I'm going to help out there, but I'm not bringing anything home, because she just got two puppies. One's a border collie and one might be an Airedale. So she's like,
wow,
that much dog energy. I can't have another pet in the house.
Wow.
But she brought the cat home anyway.
Oh.
And she's also got horses. So she's got a house full.
Mm-hmm.
God bless her.
Well, folks,
she actually teaches us agility training. So those dogs are probably good for someone with her personality. They would be too much dog for me. So
like somebody else we might want to have on the show. Well, thanks to all of you for watching today and chiming in on the chat and liking and loving and sharing. We just love doing this show for you guys and having you be part of the show. So, sending you all a big hug. You want to give a hug to folks? Yeah, attaboy. Yeah.
He likes his hugs.
Yeah, he likes his hugs. All right.
It was so great having Sandy today.
It really was.
Who's going to be on tomorrow's?
Tomorrow. We have the 7th most interesting man in the universe, actually, on tomorrow, John O'Hurley. We are so honored and blessed to have him on. We're going to discuss the future of dog shows. We're going to discuss his love of dogs and also how he got involved in dogs in the first place, being a famous actor that was always busy. So welcome, John. We're really excited about it.
That's going to be exciting.
Thank you again, guys. Big hugs.
Big hugs. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Everybody.